Hey, Hat Tricks fans. It was a major weekend for the Danbury Hat Tricks as they picked up 9 points on the weekend against HC Venom as they have a chance to extend their win streak to 6 games this weekend. And a big reason why the Hat Tricks got so much success on Sunday at McCann Ice Arena is the man sitting next to me, Cory Anderson. Cory, thanks for joining me here today.
Hey, awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
First of all, I got to ask, Cory, you get 2 goals for the first time of the season, including the game winner in that third period. What did that kind of individual performance mean to you on the road ice?
It definitely means a lot. Obviously, too, it was one of those games where, it's our third game in 3 days, right? So it's kind of like the mental and physical side was taking toll, and that's one of those games where you just kind of have to dig deep and find a way, right? But to be the guy to, help get that security of the win, it's just, a small piece I can play and, the group's success overall, though.
You mentioned being a major part with the small piece that you have on a certain afternoon where it's the back of a 3-game set on the weekend. What were some of the biggest characteristics this team showed as it won 5-4?
I think, too, it shows that we can win a close game, right? Obviously, like Friday, Saturday night, the scoreboard was a little bit higher, right? So it gave a little bit more room for comfort. Obviously, though, like Sunday, and especially, like I said, on a situation where you're tired and, you're starting to feel it and the fatigue starts to kick in a little bit more and you're just kind of scratching and clawing to try to find a way to win. But I think that's when, the group has to find a way to come together to find a way to win, right? And I think us, like, that's kind of been our mentality a bit, as we kind of start to head towards the back end of the season here, starting getting into that playoff mentality, right? And so, we're going to probably face, a lot more games where we're maybe up by 1 and we have to learn how to close it out, right? So I think for a situation like that was a great test for us. And, good thing it's only February right now. So I think if we can kind of build off that and keep continuing to learn off that, that's something that's probably going to pay off for us come the long run here at playoffs.
And as you mentioned, building off of things as the calendar turns to February, the second half of the season's officially underway. One thing I think that caught a lot of people's eye, not only around this club but around the league, was the power play scoring this weekend. It had 10 through 3 games. What does that say about the character this team has?
I think, too, yeah, it shows that, again, that we have to – there's, the special teams area is where we have to take advantage of, right? So I think to build some confidence in that department helps a lot, too, as the group, right? So I know in the past, like, there's been weekends and times where we kind of struggled on special teams and stuff like that. So to have a weekend where we can take advantage and kind of learn and, break it down, study film and all that stuff. And, again, like I said, piggyback off and continue to grow off of it, right? That kind of helps going towards the future here.
You mentioned the team is trying to identify more things on film right now in practice. There's a chance to regroup before taking on the Dashers Hockey Club for the first time this weekend. What are you assessing most on film from the things that are being pointed out by Gons and Ruiz?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about this weekend, we haven't really touched on Danville too much yet. We're kind of focusing on, our mistakes and, taking away the positives and the negatives from the weekend. But I think for them, though, again, I think the message is just details, right? And again, too, like, nothing to discredit whoever we're facing, right? But it doesn't matter, honestly, at the end of the day. But, we talk about facing a faceless opponent, right? It doesn't matter who we're facing on any given night, that we have to make sure that we're taking care of what we can control, right? So if we can control those factors and, hone in on the details, we're a team that we like to dictate the pace and we like to dictate the game, right? So I think that if we're controlling those factors, then it's going to be usually a good night for us at the end.
And speaking of dictating the pace and how that carries into the rest of the game, you got Gleb Van Durken, a rookie winger, with his first hat trick and the team's first on the season. How exciting was that to see on Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, he's been a huge part of our success in a way, right? And obviously for a young guy to get a hat trick, right? I remember when I was a young guy and I got my first hat trick, it was a big deal. And, again, too, I think he's just a great guy that wants to contribute and help the team win, right? And I think that's what everyone in this locker room wants to do, no matter who it is or what your role is, right? Where, we talk about family first and team first, and, at the end of the day, like, whatever we can do to contribute to the group's success is all that matters.
22 games to go in your third season here in Danbury. It's your second stint with the Hat Tricks now. You have a great feel of how this locker room looks and how it carries onto the ice when the team is committed to playing physical for 60 minutes. What's your message to those rookies who are especially forwards and looking to make a name for themselves with this club?
I think it's just stick to your identity, right? Don't ever steer away from who you are as a player, right? Like, there's kind of a cliche, but, like, I feel like, whatever hockey team that you're on, like what makes a good hockey team is having the right puzzle pieces, right? So, every guy is here for a certain reason. So I believe that whatever your aspect of your style of play is, right, it's going to contribute to the game and to what the team needs, right? Like, for me, for example, like, I'm a physical guy, but I also like to contribute and score offensively. So I think whatever your style of play is, like whatever it is, obviously everyone's here for a reason. So if you're a young guy, especially trying to make a name for yourself, I think it's just staying true to yourself. Obviously, work your bag off every day and, continue to chip away at wanting to get better every time that you're at the rink, right? So hockey's kind of funny because, you think about it, you're always practicing more than you are playing, right? So, this is a developmental league for a purpose too, for especially those guys that are trying to get to that next level. And obviously Danbury is a great place for guys to take advantage of that. And I think too, it's awesome having a group of older guys in that locker room that are willing to, help guys, show them the way. And, I think too, just whatever we can do to help their hockey career. And obviously, these young guys, they want to get to that next level, and whatever the little things that we can do, chalk talks, video, little extra, skill session stuff after practice on the ice, it kind of pays off in the end, right? So for them, I think it's just, don't get frustrated, always stick to the process, and good things will come if you keep working hard.
Gonzo said after the win on Saturday that the penalty kill is something to still be addressed, and he always said that there's just more and more to address in the tank as the season progresses, and as you said earlier, room to improve. How hard is this team working in practice on that right now?
Yeah, especially on the penalty kill, like that's a special team area that, every single night you have to take pride in, right? And hockey's a game where those special teams can make a difference, right? And so, it's always going to be able to be who capitalizes quicker and more, right? So I think if we can, obviously, one, stay out of the box, right? That always helps. But I think, too, if we hone in on that penalty kill and everyone's committed to doing their job, it's very structured for a reason, right? And it's one of those things where we have to pay attention to details, right? But I love to see, though, watching that, the guys that are on the PK, they're buying in, we're blocking shots, like helping make life easy on our goalies, and that's like what it's about on the penalty kill especially, right? So I think if, that's something that everyone continues to buy into, that could be a big difference for us winning some more games here.
Frankie McClendon, he won his second straight start on Sunday at McCann Ice Arena over in Poughkeepsie. That save, and I know that you know the save I'm talking about, with 2:39 left in the third period, just what did you see out of that, and how vital was that performance from him?
Well, yeah, I mean, like he was absolutely lights out in that performance right there. So goalie, I always give credit to, because I feel like they're definitely in the most athletic position for sure. And I feel like in a hockey game, like anytime you're going to steal a win, there's going to be some point where you're going to need your goalie to make a big, desperate save, right? And, he came in clutch, and, I hope that for the most part we tried to make life easy for him as possible, But, he was stellar, and, I'm really happy that, that save paid off for him and we were able to steal the win off of it.
Paying off for the hat tricks, paying off for Frankie McClendon. Speaking of paying off, I got to ask, how was the 31st birthday celebrations Monday?
It was great. Awesome. We did hibachi with the guys. We celebrated my birthday, Johnny's birthday, and ZP's today actually is his birthday. So it was fun celebrating with the guys, and that's what it's all about here too, that family culture, and it's little things like that, grabbing lunch together, and just having that bond time together. I think that off ice stuff bleeds into the locker room, and I think that's been a contribute to our success of that camaraderie and just that kind of that brotherhood mentality. And it's been awesome though. But yeah, it was a great birthday, lots of birthday wishes. Thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday also. But yeah, it's been awesome, and just looking forward to what the year has to bring.
All right, so the Hat Tricks, they celebrate 9 points against HC Venom as their season-long 4-game win streak carries on. They have birthdays to celebrate off the ice this week. Hopefully the birthdays and the celebrations generate into 6 points against the Dashers this weekend. Puck drop is set for 7:30 on Friday here at the DIA, and then 7 o'clock on Saturday. Cory and I, we hope to see you there as the Hat Tricks take on the Dashers for 2 this weekend. Cory, thanks for swinging by.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.